As we discussed, marketers running online ads embed useful data in URLs in the form of UTM or query string parameters for tracking purposes. How does the tracking actually happen? All modern browsers have a built-in programming language called JavaScript, which can run in the background on any web page. This allows programmers to do things like modify page elements or animate text. Additionally, JavaScript allows us to programmatically reach into the URL of any page that loads and parse the information. In fact, this is the primary method used by advertising and analytics platforms that enables them to capture and report user behavior data. In order to correctly report conversion tracking, for example, these platforms require you to install a tracking code snippet onto every page of your website or the landing pages that you intend your ads to link to. Then, when a potential customer clicks on an ad with the proper query string parameters embedded in it, the tracking code leverages the browser's JavaScript functions to extract the necessary information from the URL. You can see this in real time using the browser's JavaScript console, which allows developers to run code for testing purposes. Imagine we've just clicked on an ad that redirected us to this page. Upon doing so, you would see the base URL along with query string parameters attached by the advertiser. With the JavaScript console, we can emulate what a typical tracking code snippet would do. You don't need to know how to code to follow along. This is simply for demonstration purposes. We're simulating what a tracking code snippet does when it leverages JavaScript to extract data from an ad's URL. We can run a line of JavaScript code such as document.url to retrieve the full URL. From there, we can go further and separate the URL at the question mark. Remember, the query string parameters are always after the question mark. Here, you can see the base URL and the query string parameters separated. We can go one step further and split the results so that they are separated by ampersands. And there you go. You can start to see how useful information can be extracted from a URL. The steps illustrated here are similar to what you might find in a tracking code snippet from advertising and analytics platforms. While I've illustrated this process here, step by step, in the real world, your tracking code snippet would execute these steps sequentially in a split second. In the case of WhatConverts, our tracking code will then save the relevant UTM parameters onto the user's device in the form of a cookie, which is simply a text file. Our platform can then reference this data whenever the user engages with the business being advertised, and that's how we are able to keep track of who is clicking on your ads, what they're interested in, and where they came from.